With GitHub Copilot, you can shift your development tasks from sequential to simultaneous with the agent of your choice in Agent HQ. The Agents tab on GitHub is where you can manage all your cloud agent sessions. From here, you can assign ad hoc tasks to Copilot, to Claude by Anthropic, to Codex, or to a custom agent. We can also use this tool to monitor our tasks, all from one centralized location on GitHub. Now, most change requests come via issues, and you can assign issues directly to an agent like Copilot, Codex, or Claude. Choose the branch you wish to use as the base, and again the agent you want, and let the agent do the rest. Inspiration can strike from anywhere, including away from your desktop. We can manage agents and even assign tasks right from GitHub Mobile. Given that developers spend the bulk of their time in an IDE, it's natural to expect to have access to the same functionality from there. In VS Code, you can orchestrate all your agent sessions, local and cloud, from your IDE. Just like before, we can assign to Claude or Codex or to Copilot using a custom agent or specified model. These tools allow you to assign and manage parallel coding agent sessions all within your existing workflow.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Open Source Friday, the show where we talk to maintainers about the apps that they're maintaining. I'm Kadesha, and I'm so happy that you're here with me today. Today, we have a really, really good chat with the maintainer of the Remotion project. If you don't know Remotion, I'm kind of obsessed with it. I've been using it to create videos programmatically for a lot of my videos. And so I'm so excited to be chatting with Jonny here today. I also wanted to let you guys know that May is Maintainer Month at GitHub. And so we have a lot of programming ready for you to go throughout the month. So definitely go to our maintainermonth.github.com site to see all the goodies we have in store. Let me just pop the link in here so you can go ahead and check it out. And so, like we always have fun on these streams. I'm just going to bring up Jonny right now so we can get into it. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know how you're doing. And let us know if you've ever tried Remotion in the comments. Lots of requests, but see if you can answer those questions in the comments. But let me bring up Jonny. Hey, Jonny, welcome to the stream.
Hello. Thanks a lot, Kadasha, for inviting me. So glad to be here.
Yes, of course, of course. So tell us, who is Jonny Burger and where are you joining us from?
Yeah, maybe let's start with the bear. I'm joining from beautiful Zurich, Switzerland. Yeah, just a guy from Switzerland who has started an experiment in 2021 to make videos programmatically, and I am still doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jonny, so tell us, how did you come up with the idea for Remotion back in 2021? I'm just gonna jump right into the conversation because I know that at GitHub we've been using Remotion for a few years now to create videos programmatically for a few things. And so just seeing the explosion that's happening right now, it's actually incredible for us to see that for you. So how did you come up with the idea? What were you trying to build or get done?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, 2021 was a different time. We didn't have the tools that we have nowadays. Um, my initial goal was really to just like have some way to like parameterize videos and maybe use like CSS to center something in a div rather than to have to use After Effects, which does not have components, which cannot use CSS. So yeah, but now I think the vision has become a lot bigger. It's about prompting videos, building video editors. But it was a very simple use case back then.
Yeah. And so like how long did it take you to build the initial, I guess like V1 of our Remotion back in the day? And how many people were actually, do you know how many people were using it back then?
Sure. So I think back then I still had a job, and I know there was like a stretch over Christmas where like like I would not work. I went to my parents, took some time off, and finally managed to finish Remotion, make a trailer for it, and launch it at the beginning of 2021. I would say maybe 1.5 or 2 months where I would do it mostly after work, and yeah, I didn't really launch it with that big of intentions. Only in the last minute I even decided to buy a domain for it,
Right.
and then I put it up on GitHub, and
Yeah, of
magic
course.
happened. Of course,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I guess like let's get into a demo. I know you have a demo for us to show folks how Remotion works. So if you're just joining, we're talking to Jonny from the Remotion project, and Remotion allows you to build like to create videos programmatically. And now you can create videos not only programmatically, but just by prompting with text because of AI agents. So it's been pretty cool to see the growth. You want to share your screen again?
Yes, absolutely. So give me 1 second. Here we are. You need to show it to everybody. Okay, perfect. So how most people use Remotion nowadays is with a coding agent, and they would just prompt a video to be made, and one very simple thing that you can do is you can copy this prompt from our homepage, which just says to install the Remotion skills. So these are essentially all of the instructions, all of the best practices, all of the knowledge that the AI needs to have in order to create a video. And I'm not just going to paste it in, I'm going to edit it. You know what's really cool about these podcasts is that you organize them all on GitHub. I'm going to quickly show this as well. So this is a GitHub issue where you kind of like use it as a system to track all of the guests you have on your podcast. I thought it would be cool to just copy this link in, and hold on, I'm gonna switch the screen again, and we are now in the terminal. I'm gonna say make an animated speaker card.
Oh, nice.
I can post on social media, use 1080 by 1080 and large text.
Okay, so let's slow down here for a bit. So what you're doing is you've copied the instructions to install the skills for a coding agent to use Remotion, and not just install the skills, but also give it instructions on what you want it to create. Huh.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like a great way to get started to make a scaffold. Is this going to be slope? Yes, absolutely. But it's like very simple way to see, like to set up a project with some sample data, with a sample animation. And what it will do is now set up some React components. Remotion is React based, and it's gonna write essentially a more or less regular React component. So it's you can use web technology, of which you can see a glimpse here. And there's a layer on top that Remotion provides, which is its animation system, and that will allow you to like define an animation that, in a moment I will hopefully be able to show you what it looks like.
Cool. Any reason you chose to use React for video?
So I was just a React developer back then, and I kind of liked it. For me, it was like obvious that it would like the community would move into this direction, that React would get more popular, just because you can like have real code in your markup, and to me it just felt natural and it clicked. I would say maybe back then it was not yet as obvious that React would be like winning as hard as it is nowadays. There were a bunch of other frameworks as well. And yeah, luckily not standardized on React, but I think React is the biggest framework out of all of them. So I'm gonna open the project. I'm gonna show the code if you would like to proceed.
Let's do it.
All right, so as you can see, the code that it has generated is like regular CSS. We have a couple of shadows, really nothing out of the ordinary. But what is now special about it is that I can open this in a video editor like interface that I'm going to show you now. Here we go. So
you're able to share your entire screen.
I can't share my entire screen. The thing is, my screen is like this long.
Oh, it's wide.
as wide as like the span of my arms. So this is why you have to excuse me for
got you
for doing this switching all of the time.
So now we're in the Remotion video editor, right?
Yes, indeed. We call it the Remotion Studio, and this is just a playback of the code. This is actual web content. You can also set up parameterization. Seems like the AI has already done it now for us. I'm not sure if it has done it correctly. Okay, yeah, nice. Seems like it. So it's also kind of like a form that I can edit now. And we also do like some black magic to like map everything back to the code. So if I edit some stuff here, it should go back to the code, and I guess the AI made a mistake here. And also we can see that this composition, composition is essentially just like a video, has been defined. That's this line in the code, and now I've jumped back into the code, and I could edit it here as well. So kind of like two ways to use Remotion. One is by like writing the code in your code editor. One way is to use an agent, like we have used to scaffold the video. And what I will be doing next, what my current focus is, to also, based on what you see right here, to allow some things to be moved around as well. So
Yeah.
I think that's the end vision, to have kind of like a hybrid video editor, which is like partly agentic, like which you can steer with an agent, but also like manually with your hands, with your creativity. I guess this what you have right now, it's a bit too much slop, in my opinion. I'll be the first one to admit it, that it's like super cool that you can generate these videos. Yet I've now seen so many of them and they feel generic. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I kind of want to go back a bit and embrace bring your ideas that you have into code, or like to visually edit it, and give more opportunities to make something unique.
Yeah, so how would we improve this video here? What would be the process that you would use to make it less, I guess, AI slop, as you say? Like if I wanted to add like my own like branding and colors to kind of make it more personal, how would you go about doing that?
Well, two things. We can prompt the agent to choose a specific design system. Maybe I can just prompt to make it look more like the GitHub design. I think this could work well. But also, our skills are pretty light. It pretty much like defaults on what it thinks is like good web design. And if you ask me, according to my taste, it does like overload it a bit with content. So maybe I would just like go into the code and remove some stuff. I'll quickly show you what the agent is doing. But maybe the right answer is to ask you. Do you have suggestions on how we can make the video better?
Yeah, I guess like, so like I've been working on creating a kind of a way for us to do like changelog videos. And so just like what you did, just pointed to a changelog link and it creates a video. And so I kind of fed it the GitHub brand guide, like the fonts, the colors, the style. I had the agent like watch a sample video of what what output I'm expecting. And then we were able to get somewhere that's pretty like passable. And then integrating like, 11 labs with the voice to get something that's working. And it's still like a work in progress, but I'm still like looking for ways to definitely make it better. But it's definitely now like GitHub branded, but it could definitely use some more work. So that's why I'm wondering like, how would you improve it a little bit better?
Yeah, like one very popular template that is very GitHub centric that I absolutely love, that I see a lot of people using, is like our Stargazer template.
Oh, Remotion has templates?
We do have them indeed. I'll put it up. Maybe you have seen videos that look like
Big fan of Remotion.
like these.
Hey, Andrea.
Hey, Andrea. Thank you. It's not playing right now, so I guess can I just say something for a minute while I pull it up? Then
definitely check out the Remotion project. I have the linky here. So if you go to gh.io/Remotion, you'll be able to go forth and be able to use it. So I would encourage you to use Remotion with your favorite agent. It's so quick to set up and get started. If you are interested in learning how to create videos programmatically, that's a really good way to start. You just copy the one line that you see Jonny did earlier, pop it into your terminal, and have, I use Copilot CLI. So like I just have Copilot CLI install and go forth and do. It's so good. It can add captions. You can, integrate like voice commands. You can do some really, really cool animations with it. It's just a matter of like learning how to do videos, like learning how to build videos and having the language to explain to the agents how to do videos. That's like the only way you're gonna get like a better output, but it's pretty cool.
Well, thanks a lot for the nice description. You actually described it way better than I could. So, and with that, now I've managed to pull up what I wanted to show. So maybe one or two people from the audience have already seen these videos.
Oh, what's this?
It's a Remotion template where you can like enter your repository name and celebrate a Stargazer milestone. So for example, if you want to like post a video and celebrate that you have made that you have received 100 stars on GitHub, you could make an animation like this. This one is also parameterized, and let's say I'm gonna use GitHub events, open source Friday. Here we go. So this your repo has reached 36 stars so far. So I think since that's such a nice round number, we should celebrate and render out a video for this.
And so it's using what, the GitHub API to pull in the stars?
It is, yeah. So well, GitHub has a really nice API that like allows us to get it without an API key. If you don't use an API key, it's very heavily rate limited.
Yes.
Like when I think we made the video for 30,000 stars, and then we actually loaded all of the data, and to not like get rate limited by GitHub, but was pretty hard. But then with this template you can also add like an API token to
very interesting
fetch all of them.
Okay, so tell me more about how you built the Remotion Studio. Is it pure React? Like, how did you get this editor going?
Yeah, sure. So the trickiest part, honestly, is like recognizing the fact that if you let your users mount React components, that they can completely mess with the styling of their page. Like if if the users like they install Tailwind or anything else that does like a global reset, then every element is going to be styled on the page, and that is like one of the biggest pains when building this, because like every single element that you see on here, all of these menus, these render dialogues, these drop downs, this quick switcher, these assets, it's like you have to like essentially put inline styles on all of the elements, so that they have like the highest precedence over a style that the user might be able to inject globally. So that makes the development on the Remotion Studio vastly slower than it would be to like code a normal website. But I mean, that's okay. That's just one thing that I have to put up with. And well, I guess I just said the first thing that came to my mind. Wasn't really I guess the answer to your question is way more straightforward, which is that, you know, we take the React component that the user has in their code, and we mount it, and we wrap it in some React contexts that we control, and through these contexts we manipulate the time, we expose an interface for scrubbing through, and that component receives our context, reads the time from the context, and is able to draw an image.
Gotcha. And when it comes to like the rendering pipeline, right? So like how's Remotion rendering the videos? Because it gives us such a clean link. Like here it is. Here you go check it out. How is that working under the hood?
So we have a server-side renderer, which I've just demoed now. And we also have like a client-side renderer, which would also be able to render this video. With the server-side renderer, you need to like have Node.js, and that spawns up a headless browser and uses Fmpeg to concatenate everything, and it has an audio mixing pipeline in Node.js, which we've iterated over the years. And maybe the fanciest version of that renderer is our Remotion Lambda solution, which kind of like splits up the render into up to 200 separate chunks, which can be rendered on AWS Lambda, and then they get concatenated together in the end to make the video rendering faster. So that's pretty cool. However, the client-side render is way more black magic from our side. We essentially like re-implement all of the stuff. Like we analyze the DOM, we realize that there's a text here and that it has this type of styling. We recognize the borders, the backgrounds, shadows. We need to add support for every CSS property manually, and then we draw that onto a canvas. And if we can do that, then we can capture the canvas, and we can get rid of all of the Node.js and Puppeteer part, and render a video directly in the browser. And you know, since like many people use Remotion to build like an app to like build video editors, there are like users of Remotion who make a video editor that renders like 1 million videos per month. And that's kind of like hard and expensive to scale up the server infrastructure. You know, you cannot host it on a single VPS or on a serverless function. So we think if the client-side renderer is maturing more, then, you know, we will be promoting it more.
Gotcha. And so that sounds like pretty how did you even when you launched Remotion, was it always a browser side and a server side rendering that was happening, or did you come upon that like eventually as more and more people were using the project? And how are you managing memory? I have a lot of questions, sorry. I'm just curious about how it's operating under the hood.
Yeah, so indeed the render is being executed from the server side. Like you trigger the render server side, but then the actual front end code is client side, which is sometimes kind of like an annoying bridge that you have to make. You have to like pass data between the things, and we have to optimize if you want to pass a large payload, for example. And having that extra headless browser is also kind of a pain, because we want the version of that browser to be the same for all users, so that we get deterministic renders, and then we want to fit that in the serverless function. And we also try to eliminate the risk of custom FFmpeg builds messing with the determinism. So it is hard, and that's why the client-side render is kind of like more fun. You completely eliminate all servers. When I'm gonna launch the client-side renderer, there's still a bit of work ahead. But once it's done, I'm just gonna tweet out like, hey guys, you can delete all of the servers. You can just live on the web. It's way more fun. And no more bridge needed.
Yeah.
And about managing memory, very tricky, because with video you can potentially have a memory leak really fast if you don't clean up like the video frames. So like imagine you have like a 1080p video, and sometimes you have to process these frames uncompressed. And let's say you have 1080p video, that's like 1080p by 1920, that's like 2 million pixels. Each pixel can have a red, green, blue, maybe transparent channel. So maybe we calculate with 1 byte for each channel. So 4 bytes per pixel, and suddenly you have like 8 megabytes per frame. You have 30 frames per second, and a 5-second video is like 1.5 gigabytes. So one interesting thing that you sometimes have to do is to when you render a video, you on one hand produce the frames, and on the other hand you encode the frames into like H.264 or any other video codec. So it's like 2 separate processes that are happening at the same time. And if the rendering frames part is too fast, or the encoding part is too fast, it might be that one of these parts produces like so many uncompressed frames that you are running out of memory. And so it can make sense to like artificially slow down the rendering if the encoder cannot keep up. And that is the concept of back pressure, which I totally did not know when I first launched Remotion. And we had some problems. And now I've learned a lot of things, and we do better.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Because like video processing, it's so heavy. That's the only word I can think. It's such a heavy process. So I guess I'm curious, like, what is the full stack of Remotion, and how are you managing the cost? I guess since you have like, I'm sure you have like corporate clients, and you said people are using it to build their own applications, so that's probably is like funding it. But is it just you? Do you have a team? What does that look like?
Yeah, so Remotion, it's a company nowadays, but it's just me, my co-founder Mehmet, who is like a friend from university, and then we have also hired one guy who has like made a great Remotion app, and we were so amazed by it that we wanted to get him on our team. He's working like part-time, so it's like 2.5 full-time employees doing all of it, and we have turned it into a business, and we've managed to do that through like a pivotal decision that I made in the very beginning, which was to like put a clause into the Remotion license that you can use it for free, but if you are a bigger company doing
You gotta pay
specific
for
things
it.
with Remotion, doing like, for example, like building an app, building a video editor, then you have to like get a license from us. Because and it's like it's a big topic for maintainers. Like, how do you become sustainable? And I personally don't believe so much in the sponsorship model. I have a lot of friends for whom it works, but I think there's kind of like a ceiling to how much you can achieve. You probably will only at best get, you know, like as much money as you need to like barely get by.
Right.
And you know, like if you have like a bigger vision,
Right.
then you'd be grateful for it. And also like it's you know, like it's your right to like charge for your work, like you can in every other profession. And you know, you can make the license whatever you want it to be. You don't have to like pick between MIT and Apache, and you know, it's just like a markdown file, and you can write down whatever you want. So I'm really glad that I made this decision before I put up like a lot of truly free open source software on GitHub. And you know, about this one, I had like a feeling that, you know, if I would not make it sustainable, that I would burn out. And
I agree. Yeah.
Was very happy about that decision, and now I can call it my job.
Yeah. This little experiment that you started years ago turned into a full job. I see even like a company like HeyGen is using it for their video generator, right? Like their video creator tool. That's super cool. Video agent.
Yeah, totally. So there are now like this prompt to video space is actually exploding right now. So we saw Replit launch a product, Lovable launch a product, Claude launch a product, and yeah, quite intense. And some of these companies, they use Remotion behind the scenes, but also some of them are like waking up and realizing that, you know, they can build a product like Remotion themselves. So it felt like so weird that until this year, after almost 5 years, we had no like big true competitors. Which was almost like like almost got us like wondering whether we are even building something useful. And like in the past 2 weeks or so, now some like major competitors
Wow.
are coming up, and you just mentioned one before. They did use Remotion, but they now came up with their own competing framework.
Oh, wow.
And well, they have some really good ideas. I give credit to them, and yeah, I'm fired up because now we can measure each other and see who is best.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Remotion can stay going, and hopefully, like everyday builders and creators will turn to Remotion for their video and animation needs, especially as you and the team work to improve how it works with agents, because that's how most people are going to use it, right? They're going to just tell their agent, hey, I want this video. Can you use Remotion to do it? And editing, I've seen like a lot of people doing video editing lately with tools like Remotion. So fingers crossed that it will keep growing and become one of the top prompt to video tools in the ecosystem, because you've been here. And yeah.
I hope so too. I'm overall really excited about like the new world, and now I do feel seen that more people are flocking to Remotion because the agents made it accessible, and I'll keep working hard on like making that workflow smooth. My goal is that users can like really realize their creativity and not get a generic slop video out of it. I'm like one of my own biggest critics. I think this is where we kind of are at the moment. I'm certainly not yet satisfied, and I'll try to make it like 10 times better and allow users to bring in their creativity.
Yeah, so one person is asking can I clone and apply via Claude Max? Yeah, so you can use any AI agent with Remotion. I prefer to use Copilot CLI. So Remotion has really good documentation that you can, just grab the installation link, pop it into your agent, and it will go forth and set up the repository or the directory for you to create your videos. So do you ever think, Jonny, of refactoring the code by using AI? Oh, that sounds like a big ask, right?
Yeah, sure. The question is what should the refactor achieve? Refactor into what? Maybe Amy, if you can clarify or like give me a specific idea, then I can tell you if I would do it. But for like smaller refactors, all of the time it's good for that. I think life is too short to refactor by hand nowadays.
Is too short to refactor by hand, for real. Like everything is moving too fast to refactor by hand. Okay, so Mikola said, amazing work. What's one thing that you think you find super promising and exciting for the future of programmatic video creation and AI? Oh, nice question.
Yes, great question. And I'll say that what I am hyped about the most at the moment, maybe because I've been working on it this week, which is that on Monday, we're going to like announce and show a couple of demos of using HTML in Canvas in Remotion. And why this is exciting is because traditional motion graphics software like After Effects, they have like an effect system which is based, which is like canvas based. You can like drag filters on top of it if you want to like have a distortion filter, a vintage filter, a CR, like have your markup be seen through a CRT display. With the current web technologies, we are pretty much stuck. So, but there is a technology called HTML in Canvas, which allows us to bring this markup into Canvas and then apply all kind of crazy filters to it. And so you have to like upgrade Chrome to the beta version and enable a flag, but it's going to be totally worth it. And we'll share some cool demos about that soon. And we've really streamlined it. Like last week, I compiled Google Chrome 4 times from scratch just to get a version with this feature enabled. So this is what I'm excited about right now.
Nice. Sounds good. So like, I guess like, what is the performance of Remotion right now? Like, what would you say is the biggest performance bottleneck?
I would say the performance overall, it's pretty good. It's pretty optimized compared to the others in the space here. We can properly make use of multi threading. We have launched a more efficient video tag this year, which can make use of web codecs, GPU accelerated decoders, and the web render is also pretty fast. So I am pretty satisfied. During preview, if you like put a lot of videos into a Remotion composition, we still struggle a little bit, and I'm trying to optimize and get us as least as good as we possibly can until we like are not a bottleneck anymore.
Yeah. Nice. And I think Amy said, refactoring for better performance or just to be more competitive. So maybe not like the whole thing. I think like if Remotion leaned into being the animation platform for creators, I think that could be really, really good. Because like as a creator myself, who I'm not a video editor, but I constantly need just like B-rolls or animation to show what I am teaching or what I'm conveying. And using platforms like what is it? After Effects. It's so confusing. I don't know how to do that. And so like that's one thing I've been using Remotion to do, but it's okay. But I don't have the language for video. So I think, like finding an area where you could lock into and to like really differentiate yourself and just like be hyper specific.
Yeah, I do feel you. And the whole space is not really accessible at the moment. I mean, the best you have is kind of like CapCut. They understood how to make it accessible, but you have like terrible performance, and so it's all paywalled. So I'm seeing this, and I'm also looking at what we can do. I mean, we are already Remotion. Now I guess like the question in my head is like, how do we become more like After Effects? So stay tuned on that front. And maybe Amy, she just like wondered how, not like about the performance in terms of speed, but about how like better videos can be created. And Amy, if you were asking that, then this morning I I woke up early and I wonder myself, like, why did Remotion with this skill not like generate a nice video where like the other tool generated a nice video, and I had like a nice optimization, and then I changed the skill, and then it made a nicer video. This is like such a tedious strain of work, but I think a lot of it is now just like changing the markdown files to allow users to get the best videos. So will not as exciting as I wish it would be, but I think the answer to that is like editing markdown files.
Yeah. Really, really cool stuff. Really, really cool stuff. Keep up the work, Jonny. I know it's not easy. And for everyone who's watching, be sure to check out the Remotion project. Go to gh.io/remotion to check it out and, contribute. Try it out if you like it. This is like a project you could like really lock into and see, you know what, I'm going to contribute to this project and see if, I can make it better for my liking or for the community. Anything else you want to share before we pop off? Before that, I did see one question. Could you recommend on how to use it with Claude Code? So Claude Code, Codex, Copilot CLI, whatever other agents you're using. At the beginning of the stream, Jonny showed us how, he just like started his agent, he popped in the command and he popped in what he wanted the agent to do, and the agent was able to do it. So once we finish the stream, you'll be able to watch the video again on LinkedIn and you can see how to use it with your coding agents. So any last words you want to share with the folks, Jonny, before we wrap up here?
It's like I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna give any plug. I'm just happy that we've already got a bit of recognition, and if you want to try that, then I think you will find it. And yeah, maybe I can just close it off by saying thank you to GitHub for being such an awesome host, and not just here on the podcast, but also like being the collaborative platform for the Remotion community. And I know that it's hard to scale since you guys are also exploding at the moment, but yeah, I think you are handling it extraordinarily.
Thank you. We are doing our best and more than our best. So thank you for saying that. And thank you for being on the stream, Jonny, to chat to us about Remotion. It's really good work here. And I wish you explosion this year so that you can expand your team even more and, get more corporate clients and just all the things to support Remotion. Thanks for watching, y'all. Thanks for coming on, Jonny. And I believe that's it for today's stream. Yeah, have a great day. Bye.
Bye, everyone.